And it's not like they take the best care of all the products that's there either. Like, you know, those comic books were in pretty good condition. They were bagged and boarded. But, like, Malcolm was on the hunt for records. They were fucking. It looked like people took a piss on the records and put them out in the sun and then put them on the table and charged.
But what about the astounding a comment from one of the one of the vendors at the flea market that there's high theft?
That was the my god! And what did we? I didn't know what to make of that. What I was so I don't know what I was more taken aback by, the fact that they revealed that there's high theft, like and that there's tons of shoplifting going on. Not just shoplifting, but fucking con man artists coming into this joint, and the dude's like relating tales of like, you know, we'll have one kid come up to the counter and spill something while another kid takes shit, and I'm like. What is this, like the 30s? Like where like this shit would be valuable to a kid who's like, hey, let's go play stickball. It's like, what kid is going to want any of the crap you're fucking selling? I bought a record there or something?
You bought a Muppet
Sesame Street
record.
And the dude was, so I don't know if I was more astounded by the tale of shoplifting or the dude relating it looked like he had his tongue cut out. in a Vietnamese prisoner camp. Like he looked like he'd been through the shit, you know, but didn't have that fucking 1,000-yard stare, but just the I'm a broken human being and the fucking Viet Cong stole my tongue. He was just like, you got a lot of theft, a lot of people taking stuff, and
the wife would
chime in. Oh, and she did. She was, and I'm like, I don't know who to look at more because she looked like she got hit by a fucking truck too. And I'm like, it's wonderful that these two people found each other, but it's also hellish that this is how they spend their weekends, like sitting here worrying, guarding their shit from being stolen. Every once in a while, I got to deal with the dude who was outraged that we didn't accept American Express cards, that kind of thing.
Yeah, every once in a while, you get that guy who's just.
You were about to sell a statue?
Yeah, he had purchased a statue. I came in from lunch.
Which one? Which statue?
Ooh.
Moon Knight.
That's the one he was going to buy. I don't know what he had purchased. I think it was a Star Wars mini bust.
Mm.
And the other guy who works for us had just got done ringing him up.
Mm-hmm. That's Zapsik. Mike
Zapsik. And he
helper monkey on the board, he both says.
Yes. He had rung him up, and I walk in on a transaction that's 99% complete.
Mm.
And he says goodbye to Mike. He actually calls Mike by his name. I'll see you around, Mike. And he was like, and Mike said, I don't know if he even called him by his name or not because I really wasn't paying that much attention. My ears only perked up is when the guy went back into the store and was like, hey, you know what, Mike? I'm going to take this Moon Knight statue as well. So, and Mike goes, excellent choice, Mr. DeFazio. I remember that. He called him by his name. So, in my head, I'm behind the counter now, and Mike goes down and gets the box for the Moon Knight statue, and Mr. DeFazio comes up to the counter. I ring up the statue cost, tell him how much it is with tax, and he gives me an Amex card. And we don't take Amex, so I tell him, oh, sorry, we don't take Amex. And he goes, he starts to go apeshit. That we don't take Amex, and I thought he was fooling around.
And what is apeshit exactly?
Like, you're an idiot.
Called you an idiot.
Yeah, for not taking Amex. I thought he was kidding around at first.
Right.
And like, I'm going to teach you a lesson. And he starts to go, and you just lost a sale because you're so foolish that you don't take Amex. A couple extra bucks a year just cost you $200. And since now I just seen Mike and this guy have a very, I thought, friendly conversation where they knew each other's names. I thought maybe he was a family friend of Mike's,
mm-hmm.
or he knew the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't, when he starts calling me an idiot and he's going to teach me a lesson, I'm like, well, I'm not going to embarrass Mike by going at this guy and really yelling at him and getting in his face too. So I'm like, well, so I take the route of like, yeah, your customer's always right. I apologize. I don't know why we don't take Amex. We probably should. So Mike, actually, by this time, everybody in the store is looking at this guy yelling and having a conniption and sweating and just red-faced.
How long is this protracted period of time?
2 to 3 minutes. He's going off about how he's going to teach us a lesson, and finally he goes over. He just says one thing too many, and I turn to Mike, who's staring at us, and I go, "Who the fuck is this clown?" And Mike goes, I don't know who he is. And while he's still saying, I go, what do you mean you don't know who the fuck he is? He calls you called him Mr. DeFazio. He called you Mike. Who is this fucking idiot? And the guy storms out, and I forgot to say this. He also, in that statue, had also purchased one of our paperbacks that are on the front counter, an Impulse Buy paperback, and he thought I had forgotten that he had put it in the bag.
Right.
And I was like, yo, before you leave, put that book back on the counter. And he goes, oh, yeah, and he threw the book back on the counter, and he left. But I was so irate, it took me a while to finally believe Mike that he didn't know who the man was. And I was like, well, how did you know his name? And he was like, the first purchase he had made with a Visa card, and I remembered the name from the Visa card. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, out of all the cards I get, I've never looked at the card and would remember someone's name. I still don't know if I buy that one.
Does that dude ever return, you think? Or is he further teaching you a lesson? And if he comes back, do you fucking be like, I remember you? Or do you just, you don't even, bygones be bygones, past is the past?
I mean, it's over. I mean, if you want to buy something and I'm willing to let it go.
All right, but what if he comes in and he's just like, so, you take Amex yet?
Of course, I can't lie to him. I got to tell him the truth. No, we don't.
You're not just like, get the fuck out of here.
No, I would be like, no, we still don't take Amex yet.
And he's just like, well, then that's you're going to be taught another lesson, fucktard. And he takes his hand and clears all the shit off the counter, throws it on the floor. Like, at what point, what do you think would bring you to fisticuffs in the store?
That probably would.
If you, like, fucking swept it off and he was like, what now?
Yeah, I think I probably would grab him and have Mike call the cops and be like, I would hold him there until the cops came.
Really? You wouldn't just be like, throw him out of the store, bodily throw him out? You would hold him to the cops?
I would definitely hold him.
What do you tell? What do you tell the? Totally. He's like, this young man kidnapped me. Something we've often talked about in the past is alien life forms, and not Alf like the TV show, but just the idea of whether or not there are aliens out there. If they came, and they weren't like V, it was like War of the Worlds, where it was immediate animosity, immediate fucking like, we have to subjugate these people. Do you join the resistance or do you go underground?
Am I 80 or is it tomorrow? You mean?
Let's do both. It's tomorrow.
God, I mean,
or you're like, if I just ignore them and keep selling books, they won't notice me.
I would love. I mean, I say that now, but I really think I would want to join the alien resistance to fight. But then you got to think, you have a family though. They need you to stay behind to protect them wherever they go. So I imagine I probably wouldn't join the resistance unless I guess they took everybody, as families banded together, or traveling.
That DeFazio comes back, gets on a soapbox about how you should have. Why aren't you joining the resistance? Kind of thing. Does he goad you into joining the resistance? Does he man up, Flanagan?
I don't think an old senile old man is going to do it.
Man up and fight the aliens, and before you do that, get Amex. The resistance, let's say your wife is like, I want you to go fight, I want you to join the resistance. Like, I understand that you want to be here to protect us, but there ain't going to be no us to protect unless you get out there and start fighting. And she's urging you to it. Do you then do it?
Yeah, I would. I think I would.
It's only so it's a clear conscience thing. Like, essentially, if you got the go-ahead from the wife, like, we'll take care of ourselves. You go out and fucking do what's right.
Right.
Then you would totally fucking do it?
Yeah, unless it was like, on the set of Mallrats, or like, hey, get us coffee.
I'd sign up for this.
If the soldiers are fighting and I'm just bringing them coffee and shit. I want a fucking rifle in my hand, and I won't be.